Have you ever walked through a forest and felt how peaceful it is? It looks so still, so silent. But beneath that calm exterior, a hidden world of communication is buzzing with activity. And when danger appears, the trees in that forest don't face it alone. Some of them actually warn each other, preparing for a threat before it even arrives. It sounds like something out of a fantasy movie, but it's happening all around us. So, what exactly is going on? Imagine a hungry insect starts chewing on a tree's leaves. That tree doesn't just sit there and take it. It reacts almost immediately, releasing a cocktail of invisible chemicals into the air. Scientists call these volatile organic compounds. Think of them as an airborne alarm system. These chemicals drift through the forest on the breeze, reaching neighboring trees. Now, here's where it gets amazing. The nearby trees can sense these chemical signals. It's like they're smelling danger in the air. And in response, they begin to prepare for the attack before a single insect has even touched them. They start producing their own defensive compounds, making their leaves bitter and much harder for the insects to eat. They essentially arm themselves for a battle they know is coming, all thanks to a warning from a neighbor. This isn't just a theory. Scientists have proven it. In controlled experiments, they've shown that trees exposed to these airborne warnings suffer significantly less insect damage compared to trees that are kept isolated and don't receive the signal, but the communication doesn't stop there. The warnings don't just travel through the air. Some signals are even sent underground, pass from root to root through vast, interconnected networks of fungi that link the trees together. It's like a secret forest internet. This incredible system doesn't think in the way we do. It doesn't make conscious decisions. It simply reacts. It's a complex dance of chemistry, timing, and a kind of survival memory that has been perfected over millions of years of evolution. It's a beautifully efficient defense mechanism, all happening without a single sound. To us, a forest might just seem like a quiet, peaceful place. But within it, messages are constantly being exchanged. Warnings are passed along the network, and defenses are prepared. Not through sound, not through sight, but through the slow, steady, and invisible language of life itself. It's just another one of the small, silent miracles happening on our planet every single day. Unnoticed by most, but always there. Did you know that when a bug takes a bite out of a leaf, the plant knows it's happening? It's not because the plant feels pain, but because it's smart enough to tell the difference between simple damage and a real, living threat. Let's dive into what's actually going on. When an insect starts chewing, the plant responds almost instantly. This isn't the same reaction it has to Wayne tearing a leaf or a heavy raindrop falling on it. The plant is specifically detecting the unique vibrations caused by chewing. It's like it can hear the munching. On top of that, it recognizes specific chemicals left behind in the insect's saliva on the wound. Together, these signals send a clear message to the plant: you are under attack. So how does it fight back? Once the plant identifies that it's being eaten, it kicks its defense systems into high gear. It's a fascinating chemical process. Some plants start producing bitter or even toxic compounds to make their leaves taste terrible, basically telling the insect, you don't want to eat this. Others get even more clever. They release special chemicals into the air. These act like a distress signal, attracting predators of the very insects that are eating them. It's like calling for backup. Incredibly, nearby plants can sometimes pick up on these airborne warnings and start boosting their own defenses before they were even attacked. This isn't consciousness or awareness in the way we think of it. It's a highly advanced form of pattern recognition, perfected over millions of years of evolution. The plant doesn't suffer. It simply responds. To us, a leaf might seem like a passive, simple thing, but to the plant, it's a part of a complex system that is constantly monitored and defended. It's connected to a network that reacts the moment something is wrong. It just goes to show that life doesn't always need a brain to pay attention. It's another one of those small, quiet miracles happening all around us, unfolding every single day. Beneath the soil, a silent journey is underway. Roots are moving, but they don't rush. They don't push forward blindly. They are constantly making choices, often picking the path of least resistance. It's a hidden world of slow, deliberate navigation. As a root grows, it encounters all sorts of challenges: stones, tightly packed soil, dry patches, and sometimes open spaces. Now, you might think it would just try to force its way through, but instead, many roots change direction. They elegantly curve around obstacles. They sense moisture and grow towards it. They follow tiny cracks in the earth where the resistance is lower. This isn't just a theory. It's a behavior that has been observed time and time again, both in laboratory experiments and out in natural soils. So roots don't just spread out evenly. They are explorers, constantly charting new territory based on what they find. So how do they do it? How does a simple root navigate such a complex underground maze? The answer lies in how roots sense their environment. They use pressure, gravity, moisture, and even chemical signals in the soil. Right at the very tip of the root, there are special cells that are incredibly sensitive to touch and resistance. When the pressure increases on one side of the root tip, say from a small rock, growth on that side slows down. At the same time, growth on the opposite side accelerates. The result is a gentle, graceful turn. There's no planning involved, no conscious awareness. It's just growth, beautifully guided by the laws of physics and simple feedback loops. Scientists have a name for this: tropism, which simply means growth that is shaped by external forces. From above, plants can seem perfectly still, just passive parts of the landscape. But below the surface, decisions are being made slowly, quietly, and continuously. Not by thought, but by response. It's another one of the small, incredible miracles happening all around us on our planet. A hidden dance, always choosing its way forward, deep underground. Have you ever sat quietly and noticed a leaf moving when there's absolutely no wind? The air is perfectly still, there's no rain, and nothing seems to be touching it, yet you see it. A gentle, slow movement. It's not just your imagination. It's a real and fascinating natural wonder. What's going on? Well, it turns out many plants are constantly in motion. They slowly raise, lower, or fold their leaves throughout the day and night. It's a subtle dance. Some leaves, like those on a prayer plant, open up wide in the morning to catch the light, and then fold up at dusk as if they were going to sleep. Others might tilt towards a window to soak up the sun, and then relax back into position later. These movements aren't random at all. They follow a predictable, daily pattern. And what's really amazing is that they do this even indoors, completely sheltered from any weather. The plant is moving on its own schedule. So how does this happen without muscles or nerves? Science has a beautiful explanation. The secret lies in special cells located at the base of the leaf stalk. These cells act like tiny hydraulic pumps. The plant can shift water into or out of these cells, changing the water pressure inside them. When the pressure increases on one side, the leaf lifts up. When it decreases, the leaf gently lowers. This entire process is controlled by the plant's internal clock, what scientists call a circadian rhythm. It is the same kind of internal timing that helps us feel sleepy at night and awake in the morning. These plant movements are officially called nyctinastic movements, which are responses tied to the cycle of light and darkness, not a direct reaction to a breeze or a touch. The plant isn't just reacting to the present moment. It's following the timeless rhythm of the day. To us, leaves often seem perfectly still, but if we watch closely, we can see that many of them are quietly adjusting, tracking the light, conserving their energy, and following an ancient internal rhythm. It's a reminder that movement doesn't always need an external force. Sometimes all it needs is time. It's just another one of the small, subtle miracles happening all around us on our planet, always in motion. Have you ever noticed a flower that seems to be changing its color? It's not just your imagination. Some flowers do this after they've been pollinated. Not to attract more attention, but to quietly send a message. This one is already taken. It's a fascinating, silent conversation happening all around us. In many plant species, once pollination is successful, the flowers begin to shift their hue. A bright white flower might slowly turn a soft pink. A vibrant yellow bloom could deepen into a rich red. Sometimes the change is very subtle, just a slight blush or a darkening at the center. Other times, it's a dramatic and beautiful transformation. This color shift usually happens within a few hours or days after the pollen has been transferred from one flower to another. To our human eyes, it might just look like a pretty decorative feature, but for pollinators like bees and butterflies, it's a crucial piece of information. So what's the science behind this colorful signal? When a flower is pollinated, it triggers a cascade of internal chemical changes. Plant hormones, especially one called ethylene, start to be produced. At the same time, there are shifts in pigments like anthocyanins, which are responsible for many of the red, purple, and blue colors in plants. These changes alter how the flower's petals reflect light. As a result, the flower becomes less visually appealing to pollinators that are out searching for nectar and pollen. Bees and other insects are smart. They quickly learn to associate these new colors with an empty flower and move on to ones that still offer a reward. This system is incredibly efficient. The plant saves energy by not having to produce nectar for a flower that's already fertilized, and the pollinator saves precious time and energy by not visiting a flower that has nothing left to offer. There's no instruction manual, no conscious thought, just a brilliant system shaped by millions of years of evolution. To us, flowers often seem generous, always open, always offering their beauty and fragrance. But many of them know exactly when their work is done. With a quiet, graceful change of color, they step back and let the attention move elsewhere to the flowers that are still waiting. It's just another small, hidden miracle of our planet. Subtle, purposeful, and perfectly timed.